Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, I wanted to talk about why I, in year 5, am maining Titan. When I choose a class, I choose it for the year. And I usually base it off of the trajectory of the class looking forward based off how the first season of the year goes. Last year, I chose Hunter. And after being in Hunter main for 9 years in a row, I continued to choose Hunter because Hunter looked good throughout year 4 of Destiny 2 and year 6 of Destiny as a game. This year, however, at the end of last year, I switched to Warlock with the plan to main Warlock into year 5. However, going into year 5, I'm maining Titan. There are multiple reasons why, and I'm going to be covering multiple of those reasons here in this video. If you are looking for a class to main, this video will help you go through why I chose a class to main and how I chose my class to main for year 5. Let's head into it. Okay, first up, the positives about running Titan. The positives about running Titan is you are a sought-after class within 6's content and 3's content. 3 content, you're looked at for your ability to produce Overshield for GMs and your ability for Banner Shield and what it can still do with Ursa's and how you can help generate your teammates' orbs and how you give your teammates basic immunity when they stand behind your barricade. In 6's content, you're looked at for your damage and how you can help support teams inside with damage. There's also ways with Stasis Titan through its ability to very freely create Stasis Shards that you can help provide extra damage to Stasis teammates and to yourself. You can also, in 3's content, control adds extremely well with Stasis Titan, which is very good right now and is being very overlooked. What are the negatives for Titan right now? Well, Solar Titan is rough, right? Solar Titan isn't the greatest and could be better, and I think will be better. But we're going to discuss that a little bit later in the video about why I think Solar Titan could be better. Also, you end up kind of being in team content. You kind of end up being Thunder Crash. It's kind of your job. In damage-focused encounters, your job kind of ends up being Thunder Crash. And that's okay. You just got to get used to that. And you just got to be like, yep, that's a boss. I'm going to Thunder Crash, right? Like, that's what you're going to end up being a lot of the time. Now, when there's multiple Titans, it becomes less that because somebody needs to go to Bubble. Because somebody needs to be on that Bubble, especially if you don't end up with a well-locked. Encounters where I really feel like Bubble shines right now, Rahul as a raid encounter, you really can't just sit in a well, and so the Bubble is something you can pass through, get that 25% damage bonus that it is now, and still be able to move around and be able to shoot Rahul effectively inside of a bubble. Now, T-Crash is better for that encounter, but if you're on, a Warlock and 5 Titans, one of those Titans should realistically be on bubble, if not 2 of them, so you can rotate around through bubbles. One of my biggest regrets during the day 1 raid was the fact that we were 3 Warlocks, and not realistically should have been 3 Titans. We should have been 1 Warlock, 3 Titans, 2 Hunters. The Hunters were incredibly viable for what they provided damage output-wise, and Tether was an incredibly great super for what it could do to bosses and how it could help with ad killing. One of my greatest regrets on day 1, as I said, was the lack of Titans, and how I felt like we should have had more Titans. And that really pushed me after day 1 to go experiment more with Titan, and that's why I have started to main Titan here in year 5, and that's why I'm going to main Titan here in year 5. But like I said, the real main negative here is just you're going to end up on T-Crash a lot, and you gotta have a good T-Crash build. And that's just kind of the way it is, right? So what about the future? What does the future hold for Titans? Well, if Void 3.0 is anything to go off of, I think the 3.0 versions of Titan classes are looking incredible. The thought of being able to run Mini Hammer and being able to spawn sunspots sounds crazy. The thought of being able to run a fast cooldown super in Burning Maul to get the super as fast as possible, to then just hold on to it with Hollow Fire Heart to use your neutral game abilities, to abuse your neutral game abilities, sounds really strong with Titan. Not to mention what else they may or may not give us. My assumption is Melting Point is going to go away, but we don't know that for sure. Melting Point could stay. However, I feel like Melting Point might go away, considering I think weakening is going to be a key part of Void only, and I don't see them keeping Melting Point in the game because of that. Because Melting Point right now is the exact same as Tether, which is not really what you want. You kind of want neutral game abilities to be less than Tether, and you probably want people to understand that Void is for debuffing targets, not Solar, right? Except for burning of targets, which I have a feeling is going to be a key part of Solar. Arc Titan is already relatively strong. The problem with Thunder Crash as a whole is it lacks any real neutral game. The super is ridiculous, and that helps boost that class to where it is, but if there wasn't QRS in the game, Arc Titan would probably be really bad right now, because there's no neutral game on Arc Titan that is viable at all and does really anything for you. If they let us keep the double grenade on top tree, that'll help Arc Titan alone. And if they give, and since we'll be unifying our grenades, you know, storm grenades are really good in in-game content. And if they give Arc Web to all classes, which is arguably one of Arc Warlock's best perks, but it's locked to top tree where the super is worse. If we can get Arc Web on Thunder Crash, we're looking at a pretty good neutral game on top of everything else, which could be really positive for Arc Titan moving forward. Void Titan, as we already know, has been a great boost to the Titan class, and I think Void Titans are looking great. But yeah, I really feel like in the future, as we move through the 3.0s, the Titan class is only going to get better. I don't see a world where they do anything to make the Titan class worse. The only real question I have moving forward into the future is, are we going to keep the 3 supers? They already proven that they are willing to consolidate supers like they did with Void Titan. There was no reason really to have the 3 different versions of Sentinel, one of which was severely inferior, the top tree version, right? You had bottom tree version, which was good with the 2 shield throws, but really we only really wanted the big banner shield version of Sentinel, and they kept that and then gave us an aspect that lets you run those 2 shield throws, which really helps the class as a roaming super inside of PvE, because shield throw is really strong because of how the shields ricochet. You know, things like top and bottom tree Fist of Havoc, is there really any need? I mean, they're basically the same super, all things considered. One lasts significantly longer because of Trample. I don't see Trample staying as any class perk at all. The ability to cause more damage the farther you fall with Fist of Havoc could be something they just intrinsically make into Fist of Havoc, right? I also feel this way about hammers. Really, the explosion of the hammer should just be an intrinsic part of the hammer super. Like, that should just be the way the hammer super innately works, because that makes the super stronger. Sunspots could obviously be an aspect, and being able to create a sunspot from super kills obviously should be an aspect choice, because sunspots should be an aspect, but the ability to just have your super explode on hit should be something that's just innate to Solar Titan. I also feel this way about some of the other supers in the game, but this video is not about those supers and the other classes. This video is strictly about Titan. Alright, so why am I maining Titan? The future looks bright. We are in a state right now where Titans are extremely viable, and most importantly for me, Titans have build crafting. Titans have multiple stats that matter. You know, recovery is always an important stat no matter what class you play on, and you should run with high recovery because it makes you feel, it just makes the game feel better. It really does. I mean, running low recovery is stupid. One of the biggest things I would love to see Bungie do is literally double our recovery stat. make it so that tier 10 is twice as fast as it right now, but make tier 5 what tier 10 is right now. And I think build crafting could advance even farther with a change like that, because most people wouldn't need tier 20, wouldn't need tier 10 recovery at that point. Most people would only need tier 5 for the game to feel good, but keep it so that the recovery cooldown on Warlock is still the same, where you need that tier 10 recovery to get that fastest rip cooldown. So that way Warlocks really had to build into recovery, but the other classes not so much, and the other classes could spare recovery to build into things like strength and build into things like intellect, where right now we're so restricted because of recovery, because you need recovery even at any level. And both PvE and PvP, you really need to build in recovery, because recovery means your health, and if you don't have health, you're dead, right? Resilience on Titan is incredibly important, much like mobility on Hunters, and this makes it so that your armor isn't really one-dimensional. Like on Warlock, you know, you're looking for 25-30 recovery, and you're looking for 25-30 discipline on every single piece, and then if you can find pieces with, you know, 8-9 resilience, that way you can boost your resilience a little bit for endgame, for super hard endgame content, so you don't get one shot and two shot by stuff. You know, that'll be nice. But on Titan, you really need to look at that third thing, because, you know, you need to focus on your class ability. Your class ability is important, especially if you play with Heart of Inmost Light. Your class ability is an important part to keeping your abilities up, and your other two abilities are so important to your class, especially with the more recent melees we've gotten and the more recent melee buffs we've gotten. Titan has build crafting, and that for me really is important. You have 3 viable classes right now, 2 of which have deep, meaningful build crafting and deep, meaningful choices within your build crafting, and you have multiple exotics that work, and you can do multiple things with your class, whether you want to focus on weapon damage with something like Stasis Titan and generate Stasis Shards to use with Font of Might and high energy fire to give yourself really high stasis power weapon damage, or you want to go something with Void where you can really cause whole rooms to explode, and you can control whole rooms through controlled demolition, or you want to go something a completely different route and you want to just be able to keep your super up a lot. So you go, you know, Doomfang Pauldrons, and you really spec into your melee stats, right? So that way you can throw your shield throw and get that melee kills that you need to help boost your super that way. Or maybe you want to go offensive bulwark with Ursas, so that way you can block and have a lot of super energy, but also, you know, you help provide super energy. You can help provide super energy to your teammates, and you also get those extra shield throws, so you can throw a shield at the beginning of your super and then throw a shield at the end of your super, which really helps with your ad clear while in Ursas, which again is just deeper, more meaningful build crafting with inside the class. And this is an important part for me, especially going forward, because Titan has a lot of niche exotics that you can build into, but you have to have the right abilities and you have to have the right aspect fragment system to do it. And we keep getting cool niche exotics to go with that deep build crafting. And this is an important part to me for Destiny, because it provides to me a deeper, more meaningful endgame. Even if, you know, making those 10 out of 10 perfect builds doesn't really do much for you in the long run, it's fun to be able to create the builds I show off here on the channel and I make for myself, because they give me something to do inside the game and make me want to go chase more armor and chase more exotics and farm nightfalls and those kinds of things, because you need all those master materials and all those exotics to create more builds. And that is really the reason why I'm maining Titan, is because Titan has deep, meaningful build crafting. Alright, that's it for today's video. Today's video was originally going to be about Omni Hunter, but it got moved to Tuesday because I need to farm out these new Stasis arms in order to really talk about Omni Hunter here in Void 3.0, because of the new Stasis arms and what they can do versus Omni Hunter. And so I have to wait till Monday when I can farm those out. So Tuesday's video this video was supposed to be Tuesday with this video, and obviously today's video got switched around so that way I could be more educated before I talk about Omni Hunter. I hope everybody did enjoy this video, and I hope that if you aren't convinced yet to main Titan, maybe you are now. If you are just looking to see, what the status of each class is, I'm going to have a video out on Thursday talking about how each class looks post Void 3.0, but this should be a good look into Titan as a whole, and maybe it'll help you educate yourself on why you should main a class. If you're looking for just a consistent class to just do everything, I still recommend Warlock. Warlock just does it all. I don't feel like Warlock is in a terrible place at all, but I just prefer Titan overall. Warlock still has very good build crafting, but a lot of Warlock's build crafting is niche and doesn't really help you in endgame content, where I feel like a lot of Titans does. But that's it for today's video. I am not going to ramble any longer. I appreciate anybody who's come by. We have broken 100 subs, and I just want to take a minute here before I close this video out to thank everybody. We broke 100 subs. I started this channel January 1st, and I had 4. I had 4 subs. And we just broke 110. That is wild stuff. Really is. If we continue on this trajectory, I will be just under 1,000 by year end. And that's kind of insane to me. I appreciate all of the support I've gotten. And I know a lot of my Titan videos have done my best. And that helps keeping me motivated to continue pushing out great content. And I appreciate everybody who has subbed to the channel, everybody who's watched even one video. You've helped boost my channel to heights that I never thought it would reach. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy this video, or you look forward to more content just like it, please consider liking this video or subscribing to the channel. Both are very greatly appreciated. I will see everybody on Tuesday for a brand new video to keep my 3 times a week schedule moving. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.